Hey there, YouTube, Slasher Chicks and Slasher Dudes. My name's Alicia, and this is Slasher Chick TV, where we like to talk about negotiation strategies and growth mindsets. You never have to choose between this or that. You can always say yes to this slash that. And I am doing this slash that. I got sucked into this um, anthology series on Netflix called Dreams and Nightmares or Nightmares and Dreams or something. It looks like it's an Indonesian show, and it's excuse me, kind of supernatural meets dark horror, I guess. I don't know what I would call it, but I do know I'm enjoying it. They're like hour long episodes. Um, but I had a good day today, and I saw Bad Boys 2 today, and I don't think I can change the title now, but I'll give my Oh, it's 10:10 in Eastern Time. Make a wish. I'll give my Bad Boys 2 review. I mean, not 2. I don't know. It's like Bad Boys 20. I don't know which. Because I basically, well, first things first, I forgot a lot of stuff from Bad Boys 3. So I kind of wished I had seen that again before seeing this version. But it didn't matter. Like, I could still keep up with the story without having seen the previous Bad Boys 3 in a long time, but it's not, you know, it would have been helpful. Um, Now, I, let me think of the pros. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith still have great chemistry. That's definitely a pro. Um, but yeah, I didn't necessarily, I love Tasha Smith, okay? But I did not like that they changed the wipeout. So yeah, that was another thing I didn't care for. They never answered what happened to her in the first place. Um, I felt like, for me, pardon my yawning. For me, the plot moved a little too fast. And that like we just immediately jumped into what felt like the conflict as far as, oh, wait, let me not give it away. I just felt like, yeah, the pacing for me was too fast. Um, Music choice, fantastic. Fantastic. But what impressed me the most was the cinematography. And I'm like, whoever was direct, like some of those shots were just some of the most. I don't even like. They first of all, the first person point of view that was given to you a lot, to really like bring you into the action, was done so well, so well. Um, so those shots I really liked. Sorry for the yawning. I mean, this is why I wasn't on earlier too. I've been feeling this way kind of all afternoon. Once I got home, I had been out in the hot sun, and you know the sun can be draining. And so by the time I got home, I'd just been um, trying to stay cool and relaxing. Now, I'd mentioned the other day, I just had an aha that I didn't expect to come. But I had mentioned the other day about how basically when I was ranting about things changing and needing to really let go of your old life in order to embrace a new life. And it just means accepting some things that maybe you didn't want to accept or that are just different than before, you know? And one of the things that changed about that is that my neighbors moved. Um, And I really enjoyed living next door to them. And so I was, yeah, a little sad about that. So that was a little bit of a bummer today. Um, and it just continued, yeah, to remind me that change is inevitable. Growth is optional. Such a true cliche. The true cliche I'm trying to continue to focus on is your vibe attracts your tribe. I do really believe that. I do firmly believe that. And so that's why it's particularly frustrating right now where relationships that I wish were different um, are just disappointing because the only way to work through that is to just move through it. Um, so that's disappointing. I also just realized one of the most helpful tips I got from my therapist is to start using like audio diaries if I didn't feel like I wanted to write. And I was really glad that I started that practice because then being able to go back and listen to them from the past is, um, I personally feel, has been even more helpful than going back and reading any past journaling that you did. And so when I get to a point of one of these live streams of my, did I write? Yes, because I'm on day 79 of 90 consecutive days of live streaming, where I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't have the energy to do it all out. I at least have been trying to do the MVP version. Well, what's the MVP? And the minimum viable product for here right now is good audio live for at least 30 minutes talking about something you enjoy talking about that will potentially add value to someone that may listen to this replay. Now, if you're using a phone like I am, okay, your audio is likely to be okay. It could be better. I definitely have the tools to make it better. Um, so that's one area for improvement. Um, but oh shoot, I forgot what I was saying. They were good audio, talking about a topic you like to talk in, which that is a check. Um, yeah, I literally forgot the ones I already said. I guess I should have wrote that down. Well, I could always go back and listen to the replay. That was one tip I got from today. Is that as I think about my live stream shows, and what the format will be later, is to go back and watch past streams. Excuse me. So, like, like any player would go back and watch their past gameplay and see where and how could I improve? What should I be doing differently? What should I be doing more of? What should I be doing less of? Um, do I have any noticeable patterns? The things that I would think one would also want a cash leak working on, or cash leak. Is that how you say it? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think. Oh, there you go. I'm not sure if I don't know. I don't know exactly how I was going to word that sentence, so I guess I'm just gonna move on and move past it. Now, actually, what I'm gonna do. Oh, did I miss Uh-oh. I just got a notice from AT&T that I have used up all my data. So they're gonna slow it down for me. Thanks. Now, I know I'd been playing the 12-week year. Ooh, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I got distracted by this Dolce & Gabbana purse that this mini metallic leather top handle bag. It's so cute. Um, but I would not be paying $2,100 for a mini bag at this point in my life because I'm not independently wealthy. However, I love being able to find not like dupes but alternatives if you want that look or style. And so now I'm intrigued. Like, where can I find an alternative to this? I mean, obviously it's not going to be Dolce and Gabbana, but I think I can find a reasonable alternative. Wait, TSA PreCheck and Global Entry is only $100 now. I did not know that. Okay, I need to quit playing around. I it's clearly been laziness and my fear about the appointment, the wait and the appointment. So now, as I was saying, the first way I could find these alternatives is that no, they are not doing prompts and also like full videos and stuff now at this point of going from Cinderella to I cannot. But yeah, my first thing I do is just literally Google the description. And the description was mini metallic leather top handle bag. Okay. Devotion is the name of the bag. And if I find that, see, this is why I end up doing most of my lives on the computer because then I can show you. Well, actually, I should figure out how I can do that here. That would be cool if I could figure out how to show actual content on the mobile as well. Like if I click more, what happens? Layout. Oh, no, not the private tab. I don't have anybody else on here. But what's the layout options? Oh, okay. See, that's the news layout option. But there's no stream info. Oh, I can change the title now. Oh, you can change the title midstream. That's also, I guess, good to know. Okay, so Valentino makes the same bag. But there is a Marc Jacobs version of essentially the same bag, and it's $225. Or you can, that's not actually the same though. I would include what's now $225. It used to retail for $425, but again, that's still not the 2,500 or 2,100 that the Dolce and Gabbana bag is. And the point is that you could still have the same look and same style, and if that's not in your budget. Now, if it is in your budget, you're not worried about the budget. Oh, I never heard of self portrait. Okay, now we'll use the Revolve version is only 150. I really don't consider this a good alternative either. Now, the other option is to use a Google image search. That would also give me alternatives that are similar. Oh, this Alexander McQueen one is cute. But yeah, I guess you can't really listen to me shop. And I'm not actually shopping. I want to find the alternatives because that's been one of my other video ideas is like not was it Cosmo? Cosmo used to have a section like this. It's like spin versus splurge, right? But I've always wanted to do it at like three price points. So like the designer price point, a mid level price point, and like Shein. So I don't know what I would call that series. Let's see what ChatGPT says to call something like that. That'll be interesting to find out what it says. Um, okay. I don't even know how I would describe it to GPT exactly, but we're about to see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, I have a segment, I'll call it. I have a segment. I have a broken nail too, and so this typing actually hurts a little bit. Of content that takes designer pieces and finds alternatives at different price points. Okay, now, sorry for all the typing. Hey, Coach Sherry. Thank you. Yes, I saw a phone call right after I messaged in yours, so I still have to go back and watch the replay, but congratulations on continued progress. And you're like literally almost at the finish line. It's wild. Um, so a couple, I'm, one thing I was going to tell you is that, well, that I was talking about earlier, I did go see Bad Boys today, and I enjoyed it much more than I thought I was going to. Um, and I don't think I noticed during the fight scenes and things where well, okay, certainly, and I'm trying to think of how I would say some of these things without like giving them away in case somebody did happen to see the replay. But like certainly at the end in that last place that they were at, and some of the things that came up there seemed like, oh yeah, that I could see what you mean about the computerized thing. But I think I was so into the fight scenes that I guess I just didn't even notice them. Um, but I really, because I had not seen Bad Boys 3 in a really long time, just feel like I forgot a lot of kind of the backstory. And that didn't completely ruin it or anything. You didn't completely have to know that, but it did make for, I think, a better experience. So there was like, that was my one challenge. Well, and then I thought the pace was a little fast, but I get it because they're also, I think, assuming you are a fan that's come and seen all the previous ones. But Martin and Will Smith still have like such great chemistry and are fun to watch together. Um, Although I love Tasha Smith, I still was bummed that yeah, they replaced the wife with Tasha Smith. Just because that would have been another part that it would have been nice from the original one. And I don't know why they never explained what happened to Mike Lowry and the sister. I did not like that. Um, Yes, I do think Martin had way more lines than Will. And you know what? I definitely think that has to do with pay. Because then they'd have to pay Will Smith more if they wanted him to talk more. I can, that feels like the negotiation issue that would have been at hand. Because I'm not surprised if he had to be talked into doing this. I don't know. Because I feel like Will Smith was trying to get away from, and this is like in choices that he's made in his films, like that he feels maybe beyond the I don't want to do but the buddy comedies anymore. I want to be the star that's in said film and prove I am a serious actor. I'm not just the comedy guy. But yeah, a little derailed by letting himself get. I still cannot get over that Chris Rock thing because when it, like, when I saw the clip for the first time, I'm like, what is this, like a skit or something that they're doing? Because there was no way I could wrap my head around the possibility that that really just happened and it was not fake. That just didn't seem, it didn't seem possible. Um, so you think that would have been the reason to play? There were definitely some jokes of Martin's that did not land. And like, what was one of them? There was one thing that he said that it was clearly supposed to be a joke, and the theater was just like dead silence, where it was like an awkward silence of like, oh, that wasn't even funny. Gosh, what was it? It was towards the end too. Um I can't remember, but yeah, he definitely the writing was not like, for some of the jokes they were trying to make Martin land did not necessarily do the best that it could have. But in some of the stuff where the writing felt really good, made me feel like, oh, y'all ad libbed that. Like that really was y'all just playing off of each other. Um, oh my gosh, the slap though, that definitely got the reaction uh in the film that it was supposed. um yes, I know because Lupita's face was like, Lupita looked like she was going through all the same emotions I was, like, oh my god, what just happened? This is funny. Wait, no, that's for real. Wait, is this a skit? What's going on? Like, honestly, they kind of did Lupita a favor. She can use that in her reel to show how she's able to express all types of emotion on her face without saying anything. That is a skill as an actor. Um, but yeah, you could definitely tell that they were not the same spring young and spry gentleman that did the first film. Um, not just like, not because the action changed, right? Of course, they are not necessarily doing all their action, but I don't know. It just, yeah. But I felt like there were a few parts, yeah, where they did want me to suspend disbelief a bit too much. A bit too much. What were those? Like, oh, okay. For example, when the villain gets on the transport port, John, and he's just basically like, "Hey, I'm riding with y'all too," and they're just like, "Oh, okay." Like, oh, so y'all not checking not one credential, nothing. Just like, oh, okay, you have on a uniform that looks like you should be here, so I'm just gonna assume that you should. Okay, that didn't make any sense to me. And there was another part that I was just like, yeah, I can't. Y'all taking it too far. You're definitely taking it too far with asking me to suspend belief on this suspend disbelief on this particular part. But I guess overall, I just had a good experience because I can't even remember what those parts are. I'm definitely glad I went to go see it in the theater. It would not have done it justice to see it at home. Um, in this, like, even if you have a home theater, it's still the kind of thing that it was good. It felt that's part of what made it fun was to experience it as a matinee with this group of people spread out and everybody's reactions, etc. Um, yeah, exactly. That was another one. Like, I was just like, who's doing that immediately. That's wild. So yeah, but it was fun. It was fun and it felt good. See, that still sounds like a good experience because it's a super huge screen and there's people that you shared it with. But I definitely think because it's like a buddy comedy and because of the areas where I'm like, y'all took that too far, I think it's fun to have somebody to talk to about this particular film. Like, what do you think about that part? Now, oh, I did. The other thing I feel like I did enjoy about this film was also the uh costuming. Oh, not necessarily. Uh, I don't even remember what Martin wore. I just remember there were a few times with things that Will had on, and I'm like, oh, I like that. That looks nice on him. So they definitely dressed Mike Lowry like a more mature Mike Lowry. I will say. Um, but so I definitely feel like I judge a film on did I want that 2 hours back at the end, like, because I'm never gonna get that time back, and at the end of the film, do I regret that I gave it to that story? And I did not feel that way. So that's a plus. And well, Coach Sherry, my thought about Martin's son-in-law is that that's how they're going to have the sequel. Yep, exactly how you said that. And I kind of like that little scene because when they were like, that was one part where the whole theater was reacting to because they're like, y'all, like, you better let that man grill his chicken. Like, we were all like, y'all need to stop playing, okay? He has clearly, like, that's his grill. And then they finally got there. So that part was fun. But yeah, I don't feel like like I said, they didn't even tell me what happened to the sister. Like, what happened to, or maybe they told me that in 3 and I just forgot. I don't know. I don't, because that's why I was like, I do not remember this criminal son that, like, now at this point, y'all would have been so estranged over this time too. And he's got this, like, I forgot a lot. So, um, yeah, but I really liked the son-in-law character, so that would be pretty cool if they do something with that. Oh snap! See, okay, well they did well on getting me to suspend disbelief about that because let me tell you how I completely forgot about that child, Coach Sherry. I'm like, what other child? Even now, I'm like, oh, you were so right. They did. Where was that? He was at a slumber party. He was he was at a play date. But yeah, it didn't even make sense. Like, even Martin saying to the son-in-law, like, get a real job. I'm a Marine, sorry. Like, Martin being a cop, a decorated police officer at that, would never look down at this Marine. That just doesn't make sense. So I mean, I don't know. Now, maybe would he find something to rib his daughter's husband about, like, as a playful thing? Yes, but I definitely do not think it would be his service. That would be no, to a Marine at that. Who's doing that? That's disrespectful. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely glad that I went to see it. And I'm trying to remember what there was in the previews that I was like, oh, I absolutely have to see that in the theater. Oh, it was the preview of the movie Lupita has coming out with the aliens. I guess they're aliens. I don't even remember the name of the movie, but Lupita starring in it, and it's sci-fi, so I'm probably gonna go see it. Um, yeah, like that makes no sense. Who would ever say that's not a real job? So that's what I'm like, no, no. It wasn't even now. If he was joking with him about being in like the Army Reserves, okay, oh you're only in the weekend services or something like that. He had that kind of joke. Maybe I would have been okay, but otherwise, yeah, that just made no sense. And also too, now that I think about it, you have two whole children by this man. You just gonna let your daddy keep talking to him like that? Like that's wild. So I don't know. Um. Oh, really? Okay, now because that's one thing I definitely love a good black vampire. So if it's also Black Vampire series, that's great. Now I knew this was gonna happen. I'm cracking up. I have a family friend's daughter who is going to my alma mater, and so I was planning to go with her to drop her off. But the husband also went to my alma mater, and he was like, "Yay, I'm off the hook." But when I saw baby girl's face when she found out he wasn't going, I was like, "Oh, this ain't gonna work. He gotta go." And so, sure enough, she just messaged me like, "Yeah," she talked him into it. I was like, "Oh, I knew that was coming. We good." So, okay, I'm gonna keep talking and hold on for. I don't know if you about to drop a link, Coach Sherry. You know what, Coach Sherry? I don't think I can do this on here. This is all what always happens because I'm like, I could have sworn I have you as a mod on here. Like, what happens when I have 1,000 people in here? I'm gonna need you to already be modded. I had to go do that on. Oh, I know I can go do it on the YouTube. Um, on the YouTube desktop, but then I would have to get up and do it. But so that's how I finally made it here today, though, because I didn't know that I was gonna. I was getting so tired, but I decided to push through. Um, okay, let me just confirm. But this is so funny. Not only is he going, Mom got kicked out the trip too. She ain't even going. They leaving tomorrow morning instead of Sunday like we were going to. That is hilarious. Um, so and yeah, that is. I'm actually a little bit relieved because it's a heat wave going on here, y'all. And so that means it is supposed to be super hot again, like it was today. Today it was in the 90s. And on Sunday, I believe it's supposed to be in, well, at least 100. Um, so I totally am fine with staying in the air conditioner. That is not a problem. But I did want some new. I am so out of school paraphernalia. Um, that I have one sweatshirt, and so I that's the only thing I wanted. Now I might still have to put in an order. and see if I can, get some things brought back from the bookstore. But because it's not quite the same to order it online. It's really not as going to your alma mater's bookstore and buying the things there. There's nothing quite like it. So now they okay. I think I fixed it. Did I fix it? No, I did not fix it. Let me try. Okay, trying this again. Yes, and I'm back. So yeah, my mic had disconnected, and sometimes the same things that work to fix it don't always work. Um, but tomorrow, oh my gosh, I cannot believe tomorrow makes day 80 of live streaming days, and that I would only have 10 left. Um, Ma'am, you cannot go visit her within 2 weeks. That is I'm like, that is too soon. You gotta give her some time to get acclimated. She can't think you gonna pop out of her bonus notice. uh, Coach Jay, if you're there, I'm wondering, would you visit your students, your children at like a moment's notice when they were in college, or would you make sure they had a heads up? Because I remember when I first left for school and my mom knew it was only 3 hours away, she was like, "Oh, yes, I'm going to be there every weekend." She originally told me she was going to move with me, which I knew was a joke, but I don't know. I think she kind of meant it. Um, but you gave him like a heads up too, right? That's, but yeah, even though my school was only 3 hours away, that drive to Penn State is not it is not it's scenic. Like, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful in terms of the mountains, the river, but it is stressful, okay? Let me tell you, it is stressful. One is consistent construction all the time. How you manage to have construction on the same route for over 2 decades is beyond me, but it never stops. And like, there are places where it's just narrow and scary, and it's not. So I think I understand why she didn't. Yeah, and I was just about to say that too. That yeah, Lincoln is out there in what I call East Bumble. Okay, I'm like, oh, y'all ain't gotta tell me twice. So that's unless you're going to like right in the Philadelphia area college. Most of them are, well, no, because there's like Holy Families out in like the suburbs. So yeah, there's some other ones that are not in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania, but otherwise they're like in the middle of nowhere. Um, okay, so yeah, that's true if they were going to your school too, or like the school in your area, then it's like, oh, you got plenty of people to visit. Um, Aw, that's so lovely. She knew what to do to come help her baby out and just give you a break. Yeah, but yeah, my mom didn't end up making that drive like crazy. Now, my first semester, I went home a lot. I was definitely homesick that first semester. So if I didn't go home every weekend, but I maybe went home every other weekend. Um, And I don't know, I don't remember what made it change, but I guess I remember I got, yeah, unhomesick, and I, had more of a village at that point, and then I didn't want to come home all the time. So, um, oh, oh, I'm telling you, Cherry, all of the statute of limitations have gone up on your stories. You could have a total series, and then it could go from college to adulthood. Oh, but speaking of stories, that reminds me. The Dark Obsessions, though, was that you said that's book one, and then she has a book two and a third one that's coming up before you're gonna have her on the show or something like that. Is that? I think that's it. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, I really thought that was cool at the fair, and not only interviewing them there, but that you even asked all of them, like, oh, well, all of the ones that seem to make sense too, because I can see that there's some that's like, maybe that's not. Well, okay, thank you. Thanks for the information. It's great. Nice to meet you. Um, but I was very intrigued to hear how many of them were self-publishing and doing their own marketing, etc. And I think that is a great topic that more people want to know about, as far as probably having lots of misconceptions about how difficult it might be to do it, and etc. So but one thing I really appreciate about you, Coach Sherry, and your, like, when you're out in public live streams, is you do not hesitate about asking questions and expressing your curiosity. Like, if you want to know something, you just go ask. I mean, worst case scenario, they tell you no and don't answer or just be rude, but nobody's ever rude. They just give you your answers. But I still don't understand how one person was fishing and the other person was crabbing for two completely different types of things. Like, I'm like, how were those two things in the same space? But okay, y'all. Because one of them, what was sea bass? Huh? Sea bass? Huh? Okay. I don't know. I still, still can't get over that. Like, say what? Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Because maybe I'm silly and I was but when I hear sea bass, I'm used to hear. I've only ever maybe there's sea bass made it that comes from other places that doesn't have Chilean in front of it. I just thought that's kind of like was an indicator of where they chose to populate, like where that types of fish is. But I don't know. They had me thinking I've been wrong all this time. I don't know. As a matter of fact, I've never looked it up. I might have to find out today, um, because I'm still I don't know. But yes, that is definitely true of you. You never meet a stranger. Wow. But let me tell you what I just found out from ChatGPT. That the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland and Virginia offers abundant sea bass fishing opportunities. And the Delaware Bay in Delaware and Maine to Connecticut. Well, I'll be. That is my new thing that I have learned for today. Oh, that sounds. Oh, yes, I can't wait to see that. Oh, what time are you going live tomorrow then? I'm so excited. I could almost scratch that off my list. I won't technically be at the castle, but it'll be like I'm visiting a castle. So I can put like a .5 check on there or something. Um, but yeah, I look forward to seeing that. Oh, don't even, we won't even get started on the tilapia rabbit hole. As a matter of fact, we're just going to accept that that's science, and that's where we will close the conversation. Okay, great. Oh, I look forward to it then. I can't wait to see you tomorrow and see the Biltmore. Thanks for taking us along for the ride. You know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna try to go live in the morning, um, and see what that's like. Tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll figure that out between now and then. But that's it. That's day 79. I made it past my 30 minutes, and I did not. Well, I didn't just wake up, but I understand if you just woke up. But hey, if you were out in the sun today, or just out walking around, it was tiring, and then that's why. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. That's why I'm not. I can't do cammed up tonight. But what I did do is still honor my commitment of showing up, and therefore we have made it. And so, with that, we will say good night. I'll see you all tomorrow. If no one else tells you, you are more than enough, and I love you.